This is ABC15 Mornings.
Our stay home, stay healthy, stay connected order is extended through May 15th with modifications.
Governor Ducey outlining what comes next in response to Arizona's coronavirus. Our entire team here at ABC 15 working together on this and taking a closer look at the details of the governor's plan and what it means for business owners as well as you, the consumer.
Plus 38 million Americans out of work in the past month and a half. New jobless claims just released. 3.8 million people filing for unemployment this past week. But economists believe people will be getting back to work in a few weeks as the Paycheck Protection Program should get millions back on the payroll. Of course, we certainly hope so because we know so many people are hurting right now and we feel for you.
Yes, we do. And we want to thank you for waking up with ABC 15 Mornings. We sure appreciate it. I'm Kaylee O'Kelly. Our Nick Sleddy joins us from home. Social distancing. Good morning to you.
That's right. Good morning, Kaylee. Good morning to everyone right now. Let's talk about that most accurate forecast because it's hot already outside this morning. Meteorologist Iris Hermosillo is standing by to talk about this Weather Action Day, Iris.
Yeah, certainly, Nick. A warmer start to the day, that's for sure. And we remain under an excessive heat warning. But I got to say, this morning, if you're an early bird, man, you were lucky enough to catch our beautiful sunrise. And I asked for some photos of the sunrise. And hey, our awesome viewers coming through. I wanted to show you this photo from John Purdy, sending that in with those high clouds, giving us some pretty color in the sky a little earlier. Now, not seeing as much of that color now as we look live with our South Mountain camera, but you are still seeing a lot of those high clouds. And that's the reason temperatures have been so warm so far this morning, very slow to cool overall. Officially at Phoenix Sky Harbor, we're at 75 degrees. If we don't drop to 74 or lower, we could set a record already this morning for the warmest low temperature ever recorded on this date. So I'll keep you posted if we cool any further, but right now, sitting at 75 degrees. And today, by this afternoon, another potentially record-setting day. The forecast, 104 for Phoenix. That's a repeat of yesterday's high temperature. At least it looks like we're going to stay below 105. But today's record high is 102. So we're likely to top that this afternoon. We'll talk about how long this record heat sticks around and what to expect as maybe you're already thinking about the weekend.
All right, Iris, thank you very much. In just a couple of hours, the Department of Health Services expected to release new figures on the coronavirus here in Arizona. We can tell you there are more than 7,000 confirmed cases in our state, and 4% of those cases here have resulted in death. That means 302 people have died from this. Governor Ducey has decided to extend the stay-at-home order for another 2 weeks, but some businesses could start reopening as early as Monday. It's sort of a staggered start to getting our economy rolling again. And our Mark Thompson is joining us live from home. Walk us through how this is expected to work.
Kaylee, good morning to you. And the governor, yes, is committed to following all of the latest health data and a gradual reopening of Arizona. But at the same time, he tells us to continue doing what we're doing.
Well, what families do is mutual sacrifice. To take care of those who can't take care of themselves or those that are most vulnerable. We're prepared today as a state because we have approached this as a family. We've worked together, we've united together, and we're going to continue to take that approach to protect our citizens.
Now, we will see a partial reopening of retail. Small and medium businesses, they can open starting Monday, May 4th. That is voluntary. And the governor hopes to reopen dine-in restaurant services sometime in May while still maintaining social distancing for customers and with food service members wearing masks, among other changes. But for those restaurants not abiding by the rules, he says this.
And for those that own an establishment and are publicly going to flaunt the order, you are playing with your liquor license. Don't do that.
Yeah, strong words there. The governor also says that there are still going to be some restrictions when it comes to traveling, especially here into Arizona. Those are going to continue until May 15th. That means people who are traveling from hard-hit places where there are advisories in effect, like New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, if they do fly here to Arizona, they're going to have to self-quarantine for 14 days. Reporting live this morning, Mark Thompson, ABC 15 Arizona. Kaylee, back to you.
Thank you, Mark. I know everyone's talking about this and thinking about what is to come. We are getting reaction as well from a few mayors here in our state. Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego and the mayor of Mesa, John Giles.
I would have preferred, again, that we just follow the guidelines and we have clear definitions that are easy to enforce for our police officers. So he didn't do exactly what I'd hoped to do, but we are pleased that he generally extended the stay-at-home order.
I agree with the governor that we don't have to compromise these gains that we've made in public health and safety. We can continue to move forward with those, but at the same time, adopting some rules and some best practices so we can ramp up economic activity.
And Mayor Kate Gallego goes on to join the mayors of Flagstaff and Tucson who want to see a 2-week decline in cases before the state reopens again.
Well, with the governor's modified order, some non-essential businesses can start reopening, but in a limited capacity. But is that enough? We know several are on the brink right now of permanently closing. John Genovese joining us live from Gilbert this morning. And John, you spoke with that town's Chamber of Commerce. What are they saying about all this?
Yeah, good morning, Nick. Well, the Chamber of Commerce president here is part of the East Valley Chamber of Commerce Alliance, representing thousands of businesses. And last week, they sent a letter to the governor with recommendations for reopening. Now, they want a 3-phase approach to this, beginning on May 15th, with the state fully back to business by mid to late June. That president telling me that her chamber took a survey of members just this week. 300 businesses responded, and of those, around 60% have not been able to access the emergency federal loan programs. Some told they don't qualify, others hearing nothing at all. Kathy Tilke says even with some businesses opening next month, they need emergency money to survive.
A lot's going to determine, did they get their funding? When are they going to open? Once we get those dates determined, I think that's when you're going to see a decision made. And we may see a spike if we don't have a close turnaround time on opening the economy.
Yeah, and Tilke says businesses need clear guidelines when it comes to reopening. The governor saying 2 weeks ago that the State Commerce Authority would set those guidelines. The president, not part of that news conference yesterday, but we do hope to hear from her at some point soon. Guys.
Okay, John Genovese, thank you for staying on top of that for us. In the meantime, today, the Arizona Restaurant Association Board will meet to discuss the guidelines they plan to present to the governor's office as our local eateries prepare to reopen right now. Now, we spoke with the president of this association about what exactly we can expect.
You're going to see a larger scale of sterilization, meaning that the menus are going to be wiped down after every single use with a strong detergent. Door handles, whether it be to the bathroom, to the front door, to anywhere in the restaurant, will be on a regular rotation of being wiped down with some kind of detergent or solution that will kill the virus.
So, okay, he says the biggest thing right now is making people feel safe. And as for waiting areas, we can expect a lot more texting to let people know about their reservations and when their tables are ready, instead of a lot of people sort of herding in front of the hostess stand like a lot of times we've seen before.
It might make the experience even better. We'll just have to wait and see. So will our kids be going back to the classroom this fall? You know you're thinking about it, right? We are. State Superintendent Kathy Hoffman says they are working on a plan for this. Her team is hoping to have it finalized by the end of May, saying that she's hopeful students and teachers will return to campus either in mid-July or possibly August. But back to school will likely be very different than our norm. Safety options for students and staff members include wearing PPE, staggering the start of the school year, having kids attend school in shifts, all to reduce the number of people on campus, reducing class size to help with social distancing, and then continuing on with some remote learning.
6:09 today, the state Supreme Court will decide what charges the state bar can bring against a former prosecutor for the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. This is what we're finding out this morning. Juan Martinez, of course, gained a lot of recognition while prosecuting the Jodi Arias case. The Arizona State Bar is now accusing him of leaking sealed information about that case to a blogger. State justices will decide if an accusation of sexual misconduct in the county attorney's office should also be added back onto that State Bar complaint.
It's almost 10 minutes past the hour. Up next on ABC 15 Mornings, when will Disney open theme parks and why Disneyland California could open months before Disney World.
And the rent is due again, why some say Congress needs to act right now or too many people are going to be left out on the streets.
ABC 15 Desert Drive Time, sponsored by Accident Law Group.
And it is time for your Desert Drive Time traffic from Accident Law Group. You can see a bit of a snag. This is the I-17. There was an accident in those southbound lanes near Bethany Home Road. We literally, during the commercial break, watched this move off to the right, and we also saw this traffic start flowing again. But something to think about if you're on the west side of town. Again, the 17 southbound at Bethany Home starting to move again. A little bit of slowing, though. Iris?
All right, well, let's talk about that most accurate forecast as we remain under an excessive heat warning. The entire Phoenix metro area under this alert through 8 o'clock here tonight. You'll notice most of central Arizona still included in this, and southern and western Arizona under this excessive heat warning through this evening. As the heat continues, we will get some relief eventually, a little bit of relief, not a lot, but temperatures will drop a little bit further here as we head to the weekend. But today, again, potentially still setting some records. Now, you'll notice some high clouds as you step outside early this morning, and you're going to see them here on satellite clouds and radar. They're a little thin and harder to see now that the sun is working its way up, but they're out there, and they're going to stick around as we go through the day today. Here's a better view as we look from our South Mountain camera. A lot of high cloud cover, but not expecting any rain. We will stay dry. These high clouds are moving in as our ridge of high pressure begins to break down, and it'll be a combination of that ridge breaking down and these high clouds that are moving in that'll keep us, I think, today from hitting that 105 degrees. Instead, will be just a little bit lower and likely see a repeat of yesterday's high temperature. Now, this morning, those high clouds are keeping the heat trapped in, so it's been a pretty warm morning. Our temperature right now, a degree warmer than 24 hours ago in Phoenix. Not a big difference at this point, but we could still set a record this morning for the morning low. Temperatures up north certainly running quite a bit warmer than 24 hours ago now. We're down to 45 in Flagstaff. It's 67 in Kingman, only 83 at this hour at Lake Havasu, and 75 in Phoenix at Sky Harbor. As I mentioned earlier, if we don't drop to 74 degrees or lower, we could set a new record today for the warmest low temperature ever recorded on this state. Currently, that record stands at 74 degrees. So I'll be watching that temperature closely here to see if we drop any further. Now, we are running a little cooler in other spots, down to 69 in Apache Junction and in Chandler, mid-60s right now in Buckeye, but you're seeing a lot of 70s out there. Here's how today shapes up. It's going to be another quick warm-up like yesterday, so be mindful of that as you make any outdoor plans. We're back to 90 by 10 a.m. We'll see a mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies through the day today, but again, more of that filtered sunshine, no rain, and it's still going to be hot with temperatures hitting the triple digits by around 2 o'clock this afternoon, and then we'll reach that high of 104 degrees in that 4 o'clock hour with temperatures in the triple digits through about 6 p.m. Now, yesterday, we didn't hit that record high of 105. Today could be a record-setting day, though. Even though we'll see a repeat of yesterday's high temperature with a high of 104, the record today is lower. It's at 102, set on this date back in the 1940s. So it's going to be easier to top that record today, and I think we're going to beat it with that high of 104. Look for highs right around 102 to 104 across most valley cities today. As you look at temperatures across the state, it's going to be hot again in the triple digits to our west. 90 today in Sedona, 88 in Payson, and 77 in Flagstaff. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We'll top out at 104 today, down to 103 tomorrow, and then down into the upper 90s to right around 100 through the weekend. So not a whole lot of relief, and then notice temperatures will start to trend back up next week, back to 104 by Wednesday.
Okay, Iris, thank you. It's 16 minutes past the hour. Federal social distancing guidelines do expire today. President Trump says he will not be extending them, but doctors are recommending we still stay 6 feet apart in public. And even with these federal guidelines expiring, this does not affect orders in place by the state. Well, the happiest place on earth is going to look a lot different when it is open again. Disneyland and Disney World are expected to reopen in phases, and we can expect to see employees, or we should say cast members, wearing masks, more sanitizing stations in place, and markers to keep people 6 feet apart in lines. But when will these parks open again? There will be a call next Tuesday to talk about plans. We can tell you this, Disneyland is expected to open before Disney World Orlando, and that's because guests in California tend to be people who make day trips. In Orlando, 85% of guests do come from out of state and out of the country.
Well, rent is almost due tomorrow, of course, May 1st, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't know how exactly they're going to come up with that money. Arizona and other states are looking to reopen and help businesses. 1 in 4 renters and homeowners in the country are unable to pay their rent or mortgages right now.
We expect May to be, and potentially even slower start than we had in April. But
Doug Vivey is with the National Multifamily Housing Council.
Basically, all the small businesses have shut down. So we expect there to be more stress in the system. There has to be.
Cities and states have created rental assistance programs. In Dallas and LA, people who make 80% below the median income could have up to half of their rents or mortgages paid for the month of May. Arizona and other states have implemented similar programs, but it might not be enough. Congress is working on bills to set aside billions for renters and homeowners.
The perception is that this is a very high margin, very profitable business. And if you really truly look at the numbers, profit margin that you have from $1 of rent is about 9 cents.
Bob Penninger is with the National Apartment Association. He thinks a federal housing assistance package is needed.
It is very critical that Congress take action to address this. And if they don't help us, and helping us is really through helping the residents to be able to pay the rent and be able to bridge this gap, you're going to end up with a housing stock that is going to be of lower quality on the other side. And you could have a wave of foreclosures that could affect residential housing.
Okay, well, a bill currently being worked on in the House would actually set aside $100 billion in special assistance for renters and then $75 billion for homeowners, and that would include landlords in this case. Well, there are about 1 million professional cleaners here in the United States, and there's a new effort to make sure that they have what they need to keep working safely as the demand for cleaning services is about to rise dramatically with more businesses reopening. 7 of the largest cleaning companies that we have joining together, asking Congress for help getting priority access to PPE and disinfectants.
Going to be much more appreciated and much more valued today. Now, all of a sudden, tell me, are you going to walk into any building and not want to see a cleaner?
Right? He has a point. The Cleaning Coalition is also pushing for the proposed Hero Fund, which would provide additional pay to frontline workers to also include professional cleaners.
Well, ahead here on ABC15 Mornings, how about some mouth-watering cuisine with inspiration from New Mexico? All of this as we highlight another great spot in We're Open, Arizona.
Sharing their passion with others facing the unknown, sharing stories of hope is a big part of our special project that we're calling the Rebound Arizona. Today we're headed to Phoenix, where a little business is bringing a lot of extra love and flavor to other locally owned businesses. This is Lovecraft.
We just opened a little bit over a year ago, December of 2018. We're located on the northwest corner of 32nd Street and Cactus.
That's Rebecca Golden. She's the co-owner of Lovecraft, a neighborhood hangout that mixes craft beer, wine, and New Mexican flavors.
We were trying to be more of an ale house, so we have over 130 craft beers. So we support a lot of breweries, a lot of local places, and a lot of just craft breweries. And then we also serve smoked meats on New Mexican style food.
While the drinks are good, their menu has struck gold with the community.
I'm from New Mexico, so this New Mexican food is fantastic. I mean, it's extremely flavorful. It's slow cooked. We have everything from enchiladas, of course, to carne adobada. On the weekends, we've been trying to do specials just to bring in people. So we've been doing like a smoked prime rib that has a little bit of New Mexican flavoring in the seasoning.
And the decor definitely stands out from the crowd. It's no secret the COVID-19 pandemic hit restaurants hard. Rebecca says sales are down at least 50%.
I try not to look at the numbers because it's, we went from our best month ever in February to the worst month ever in March. I mean, it was worse than the day we opened up, the month we opened up, a year and a half ago.
But she also says the community support has been amazing.
It looks fancy, but we're not. Let's see what else. A lot of gold and burgundy. And I don't know. It's rad. I love it. I don't know. It's unique. I mean, number one, it's like a super unique place. Like you can't buy this furniture anywhere.
And not only keeps her in business, but her employees on the job.
Every time somebody walks in and says thank you to me, I'm like, no, it's not me. Thank you to you. There's so many different ways to show support, in which they do. People post. They may not be able to come in and eat, but they post about us. They're leaving reviews.
And thanks to Rebecca for letting us share her story. You can find even more restaurants that are open right now on our website at abc15.com/open. And if you know of a restaurant that we should highlight, we have a form on our webpage you can fill out, or you can email us at openandaz@abc15.com.
It's been so fun to watch these stories. Okay, we don't have to tell you, celebrating 100 years of life. It's a major milestone and it is worth celebrating, but birthday parties right now are really tough to plan. A community, though, in Mesa, making sure a World War II veteran got a big celebration. A parade of antique cars driven by, this is for Nick Bongo, at Emerald Glen Memory Care. And they put out a call to the community to help with this party. I mean, look at these beauties, right? People from all over the country, even mailing in birthday cards. So great to see him celebrated for sure. Up next here at 6:30, coming back to Arizona, where, when, and why President Trump is planning to make a visit to the Valley.
And will it be a turning point, the medication that has given optimism in the fight against the coronavirus?